Okay, guys. So I just wanted to give you a brief um, show of what opportunities, the ways you can actually find opportunities to enter these trades. And if you look at this chart right now, if you look at the AUD card chart, see what has been happening. Price got to this level, dropped down, and then what happened after getting to this, creating this low right here, after creating this low, what did you see it do? It jumped up, it broke the previous high that it created, went all the way to this area, and then what did it do? Came back to that high that it created initially, that it just broke away from structure. What did it do? Then jumped away from there, created this high. Now, I would have expected it to get back here, come back to this point, you know. Let's see. So I would have expected it to come back to this point, the high it created after breaking it, you know. But then it kind of broke below that. That's not a problem because as you can see, what happened eventually after creating the low here, it broke the previous high, broke that, went up, and then broke this high as well. And what did you see it do? It came back to that high, you know, created an opportunity for another entry and then jumped again. So created one high here. Normally, I wouldn't really take this as a serious high now because at least I need to see two candles to the right at least for me to give it audience. But I just because it had a kind of a rejection here, that's why I still considered it. So that's why you see me create this line. So I'm waiting for this to come back to test this line now. Either test that or excuse me, either come back to test that for another entry if I'm going to take this trade to take an entry or come back to this level. Yeah, why? Because that's the previous high it created. This a mini high anyway, in my opinion, is not really a good high for me, but price would normally do that sometimes, you know. So this is what you look for. Look, drop down to your smaller time frames. Once it doesn't give you an opportunity, you know, see what it's doing. It's just been going up. Once it doesn't give you good entry opportunities on the higher time frame, drop down to the lower time frames. I'm just look for this kind of setups. You know, look for where it created a high and dropped, and then look for it to break that high, and then put a line around there. Do the same thing. I think I'm going to show you one more just to put things in perspective. What about this one? Let's see, NZD JPY. Now this trade started good. You see, it's just been going up, never given any opportunities to enter. All right, but if you drop down to your 15 minutes time frame, you will see entry opportunities. You see, it kind of broke out of that shoulder and then came back and retested it. This would have been an entry somewhere around here. And then what did it do? Got to that high, created that high, and then we expected it to come back and break it, and yes, it actually broke it. Now, this didn't give us two candles to the right, but then it pulled back anyway. And then where did it get to? That high that it created before structure. And then what did it do again? It jumped up after creating that high and kind of created this low, but this high, but I'm not really. It's fine, you know. So if at all I'm gonna enter it because it started doing this, I would wait for it to come back to this low. I mean this high before I look to take another trade. But what I would really be looking forward to now would be this particular one because this is a good entry opportunity that it's given me. This one. This one would be a good entry opportunity because I can at least see multiple candles, you know, after creating that high. So I wait for this to come back. If it does that, then I would for it to break this. If it breaks this, I can either enter on this break, close above that, or I wait for it to come back to that level. Then I can take my trade. This will be my entry. Where am I going to? Because I know that if it does, it's going to break this. So every time it does this, I'm just going to create lines. Create lines. Every time it finds a high, I create a line there. Every time it finds a low, I create a line there as well. So normally it would always come back to retest structure, break structure, come back and retest it. So the next thing I'm looking for is for it to come, do this, then possibly maybe touch there. I think that's where our TP is. Might actually come back down here. Then I must have a line here too. Have a line here. This is pure price action, no indicator. So that line is created. Then I wait for it to come in and break that line again. So it's all price action. Break, retest, break, retest, break, retest. That's all it's doing. Okay, where's our TP? Look at TP still up here. So that's what you're expecting to happen in this. So right now, it's doing this. So it might actually come down here, but you can decide to take an entry here and ride it back to the top. Or you can wait for it to break this and come back to retest it. Then you can take an entry here. So that's another one. Or you can, once you see a bullish engulfing candle break this high, then you can take an entry. It's pretty much the same thing. Yep. But for extra confirmation, you just wait for it to come back here, just like you did here. So you're waiting for this to come down. Then you can take an entry here. Yep. But we're gonna even have a sell stop somewhere around here. So that's that one. The same thing with this as well. It's the same principle over and over again. Except if you notice what happened here, you see that that line. Okay, created that low. Kind of didn't come. Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for this one. Created this high, but then it didn't come as low as this place before turning back. Not a bad thing. Then it created this high. So I would have expected it to come back to this high, this place before jumping, but it's not really stopping. It's just been going. So this, you would have to probably look for other means of entering this one, because it's just not coming back to test the highs that is created, So, but then you can just wait to see either an engulfing candle, before you can jump in, like something like this. This was a good entry. This wasn't a good entry because it never created an opportunity. This never created an opportunity. There weren't opportunities, but if you have entered from here, then no problem, or somewhere around, this would have been a good one as well. This, like I said, this is a good one. We never created opportunities for us to enter because there were no good pullbacks. Unless you want to drop to the 5 minutes, then you can at least see some good pullbacks. Like this would have been a good entry, Where else? But that would be too low, so just leave that one. Anyways, I know Adrian is in this trade, she started somewhere around here. So for her, there's no problem, Then this one as well, we're looking to take an entry here when we see it break and then retest. Now, I never gave any engulfing candle, bullish engulfing candle, so we can still wait. We still have time for this one. Let's see a breakout and retest, or a good engulfing candle break into the top. Card chef. No. Which one again? Oh, this one. Yeah. Remember this one. I know the overall direction. We are still looking for this one to, structure, come back and retest, and then drop from there. That's what we're waiting for. So this whole thing happening here, as long as it is still within underneath this trend line, we're still good. It would go up. Remember we saw it the other time. It was creating that bearish flag, you know. Okay, so now we might see something like this. This is the trend line. This is that trend line. So we're waiting for it to turn at that trend line and come down. You know, it may actually jump in a bit before doing that drop, but it doesn't matter however it goes, however high it goes, it's still going to come down because of this structure. But if that is not the case, then maybe this was a fake breakout then. But you know how we trade, we need to always protect ourselves. So if you enter that trade, your stop loss will be okay, you can't do that, that's too high. Let me look for, so your stop loss will be somewhere around, okay, you see what the problem is. There's no opportunity to put, the only opportunity you have for your stop loss is definitely this place, previous high. So that's what's going to happen. So if you enter this trade, this is where your stop loss is going to be massive. So I would say be careful for this one. How many pips? Yeah, that's massive. How many? So massive. Although if you win it, the reward is equally massive. Yeah. Right now about 200 plus, so it's a 1-to-1. So that one, you might need to let that one go. Now this one, we've been looking at this one, you know, break of structure, then it's coming back to, it's rejecting the 50 fib level at the moment. So we would wait for some good confirmation before we take this sell, because this is the sell happening. Yep. If not, then it's going to go and break that and then get to the 61 level, you know, which is remember again, structure, create that low, the opposite direction of what we saw, the opposite of this thing that we saw. This is what is happening right now. So broke it and came back to the previous low, and then look at that previous low, and then it's coming down. Okay. GA will be marking all of these levels, waiting for it. It's just not been smooth. It's not really smooth, right? But right now it's broken that low. So what we're waiting for now is for it to come down and come down and probably retest this low that it broke away from, so that we can find another entry there to write it down here for a first entry, and then first TP, and then next one. What else? AUD, okay, that's already the one I had weeks back. So that one is still struggling in this area. Probably gonna go back up. Then AJ. Okay. All right. So for this particular one, it's the same principle as you can see. Let me need to take, maybe I should take this Fibonacci out so it doesn't look so rough. Okay, can't say anything to cut off. I can take it out. Okay, so now look at it. Same thing. Broke out, created a high, didn't come back to retest it, not a problem. Then this one is where it started getting interesting. Created that high, broke out of it, came back and retested it, broke out a bit, it's not a problem. Then what did it do? Created that high, broke it, came back and retested it, but kind of broke into this previous high. Not a problem. This is where we're taking our entry with a little drawdown. And then what did it do? Broke this high again, and then came back, never retested it, or hasn't retested it yet, created another high here. So an entry will probably be somewhere around here if it comes back here. If not, it might actually just turn somewhere around here. So we might find an entry here, or we wait for it to break this high that it's just created. You know, before it to break this high that it just created. So if it breaks that, we're gonna wait for it to come back and retest it. Before taking another buy to the upside. This is where our final TP is. So what is the possibility? It might still go up, who knows? So that will be your final TP. So if it breaks this high, this is already almost done anyway, so you might need to let this one go. But if it breaks this high, right now it's creating a low here. Who knows? I could take this other one in my accounts now. In my other accounts, so I have like 2 running now. Okay, so this would go up and retest, so you can take another trade here and then TP at this point. Yep. Okay, I need to go and look for an entry for this trade. All right, then. Thank you, guys. Just thought I'd let you see that the price actions to give you an opportunity of an entry if you want to take one. Okay, what's that? And let me see if I had a trade with NZD JPY. I did have a trade. Did I show you guys NZD JPY trade? Okay, yeah, I think I did. That's this one. Okay, guys, thank you very much.